All right, guys, so is this the first truly smart rangefinder? We're about to unbox it and find out.
All right, so this is the R1 from Precision Pro. It retails at $319. It's packed with a ton of awesome and smart features.
Features that we have not seen before.
Never before.
In a rangefinder.
Never before. I almost don't believe it.
Right.
So now we got to see it to believe it.
All right, let's get this thing unboxed.
All right.
Wow. I'll tell you what, right off the bat, I love how sleek, modern, I love the colors, the green and the gray. But one thing I will say is off the bat, it doesn't look that different from other rangefinders
Nope.
we've seen. So for one thing you've got, which is a really cool feature, of course, is the slope switch you have on the side here, and it shows green, so that way everyone who you're playing with can know whether or not you're tournament compliant. It's right there. But look, feels good in the hand. I tell you what, I feel like you got a firm grip on it, not too heavy. And one feature that I love in the rangefinders is this big magnet here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, which just allows you just to slap it on the cart so you don't have to put it away. But if you do want to, let's see here, it does come with a really great sturdy case. There you go. That case works.
Strong.
Guys, don't send us stuff if you don't want us to beat it up a little bit, all right?
We're gonna test it.
So in the box, just first off the bat, in the box you just have a couple of things. You've got the case, you've got the rangefinder itself, we've got a little product manual,
So nothing too crazy.
a little more information, and a charging cable. So this thing charges right on the back here. You just pop that open and you'll see where it's a USB-C charge. It's our first time our hands on it, so I don't know things like charge time, how long it'll take to charge, but I would imagine it's comparable to some of the other ones out there. But let's start running through some of these features. I think that's the most important thing.
All right, so some of the smart features include My Slope, which we're gonna dive into completely in a second. Super cool. Wind Assist, GPS distances, of course, and Find My Precision Pro. I feel like that's made for me.
Brilliant.
Brilliant,
Yeah,
right? You never can lose it. And Tournament Legal, which we just talked about. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
These are ideas that really are brilliant, and you almost wonder why you don't see them in some of the other rangefinders, like the Find My Precision Pro. How many times have you left your rangefinder somewhere? And what's so cool is you'll even get a notification in the app say the rangefinder was last seen on the 14th hole. Just being able to do that and just go right back to that hole and pick it up is just brilliant. So one thing to understand is, how does that all work? Like, where is it getting its brains? And a lot of that is going to be generated through the app. So there is an app that you're going to download that goes with this, and the app is going to talk directly to the rangefinder.
Right.
So one thing that's going to require is a little bit of an initial setup in the beginning, and I know you started setting up some of your clubs.
Super easy. So you go through the app, they take you step by step through it. You know, they'll ask you how many rounds you play, you know, every month, what type of golfer are you, all the way from handicap and all things like that. So
it's
they
almost
really
like
get an idea.
a true caddy experience.
Right.
The way a caddy would get to know you and your game as well as your club. So the first one right off the bat, let's talk about, is the big one, this My Slope.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what it's going to do is, if you worked on any type of launch monitor and you have your launch monitor numbers, so things like launch angle, ball speed, spin rate, these are things that you can either get from a TrackMan. We often use like Rapsodo, and you can get
Swing
so
Caddy,
personal
Mevo,
launch monitor.
sure.
Exactly. So work on a personal launch monitor, or if you were fit at one time, you have those numbers. And those are the numbers that are personal to you. So this becomes a very personalized device. So you enter those numbers in for each of your clubs within the app. Then when you're out there on the course, similar to what a caddy would do, and this is what's so remarkable about this system, is it's going to take readings of temperature, altitude, and humidity. Again, this is coming from your phone talking to the rangefinder itself. And it'll use those 6 points of data to create your own personal slope. So we've had before where you have a rangefinder, you shoot it, it's 150, plays like 145, right? That's taking an angle of slope into account. But here we're taking all those points, your own personal launch conditions, as well as the weather conditions of the
Your
day.
personal launch conditions with the weather of the day, slope adjusted, accurate reading,
I mean,
to the number.
Can you get a more accurate number than that?
Sounds pretty smart.
I mean, it's just like, that is dialed. If there's anything that's dialed, that is dialed. So again, all that is gonna see, and as you look through the rangefinder, you're going to see your number and you're gonna see your My Slope number, keeping in mind that it's taking all of that information into account to get that number. So then you're also going to get 2 different sets of information numbers all looking through the viewfinder. You're gonna get your laser information, but again, this is a smart rangefinder. So you're also going to get your GPS distances to front, back, middle. Yes. So front, back, middle will all show through the screen as well. So now again, this is information that's gonna be mostly working off of the heavy lifting is done by your phone, which your phone is gonna have that super accurate GPS built right into it. If you've got a modern smartphone, it's gonna be all in there. And then what's gonna happen is, it's gonna take that information, it's gonna know the hole you're on based on that, and you'll see that through the viewfinder. You're gonna see what hole you're on, your front, back, middle, and then when you have 2 different, the 2 buttons on the top here, and when you press, one is gonna be your GPS button, one is going to be your laser button. So you can quickly get your GPS numbers, and then you fire your pin. So
super quick.
Think about this, Mike. What do we have in like an instant, right? We've got front, back, middle GPS. We've got our exact number to the pin.
To the target, right?
And then we've got our my slope adjusted number in there. I mean, it's all the information that you would get at the highest level of a caddy working with you.
That's smart, man. That's cool. Wow.
I mean, that
I've never seen that in a rangefinder.
I have not either. Now, we've seen some rangefinders work GPS in as well, but also there's also a price point that I think is something that really is astonishing to me, because some of the other quote-unquote smart rangefinders are in that range with where they give you the GPS. You're pushing that a 5 handle, 500 bucks. $319 for this, I think, is brilliant for how much feature packed it is.
Definitely.
And to me, I think it's a brilliant move, because you have such a smart device in your pocket anyway, which can gather this level of both GPS and weather data. So why not kind of use that and bake it right into what you see with the device itself, with the rangefinder. And then that goes into that whole idea of like where you have that Find My Precision Pro goes.
Yep.
Because of the fact that it's talking to your phone and it's giving that GPS device, and then once you have a separation, so let's say you leave this on the green, again, 14th hole, something like that, you drive away or you walk away with your phone, now it knows that there's a disconnect, and it'll say, you know, the device was last seen on this hole.
Yeah.
And it allows you to kind of go back, because I mean, we've all had it, the panic sweats.
The panic.
Right, that just sets in and be like, oh, where's my rangefinder?
That's it.
Right?
Always.
And then
guilty.
Exactly.
All right, so obviously we're not on a golf course, but I want to shoot something. I want to use it. Can we go outside?
He's just dying to do it.
dying to use it.
I don't know, you want to go shoot a telephone pole?
Let's
Well, look
go
at the
shoot
wind, right?
telephone.
Yeah.
We're on a little elevation here, being up high. I'm gonna shoot that fire hydrant over there. All right, so that hydrant is 87, playing 83. It's telling me to go an extra yard up with the wind. 1 more yard. Pretty cool.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Unfortunately, there's no wind out there today, but you would see it. And what's really cool is you're gonna see right on that screen, you're gonna see either a plus or a minus number, and it's just basically gonna tell you to, if it's a plus number, let's say it's add 5 yards because of the wind. If it's a minus, it's take away 5 yards. But it's all right there. And remember, in there, there's 2 screens. You've got your laser screen, and that's where your wind data is gonna be. And the second screen is your GPS screen. That's going to show front, back, middle, but it's very intuitive. It
just blows my mind, because like a lot of us have a rangefinder that will adjust slope for you. It'll be a 180 shot, we'll be playing 172, but now the wind is calculated back in. Maybe it brings it back up to 180.
Right. Well, and that's where we're saying, ultimately, we had to answer that question. Is this the first truly smart rangefinder? Because not only is it taking your data like the laser and the GPS, as well as the slope, which is just a calculated angle, but now we're taking environmental conditions that would not otherwise be in those numbers. So those environmental conditions are going to be the weather of the day, but also the individual numbers to the golfer of having things like launch angle, ball speed. And this is something that I think is such a revolution in golf across the board. It's as we, as golfers, gain more and more data on ourselves, data that maybe only PGA Tour players might have had before. Your launch conditions, ball speed, things like that, those are becoming more and more available as more practice facilities have TrackMan that you can get on, or these personal launch monitors, like we use the Rapsodo often. You have this data, and now starting to marry that with these devices, I think that this is the future of golf tech.
Oh, 100%. And guys, we're not going to leave you hanging, we promise, because we're going to film 2 videos out on course, one using this, and one also using another product that they have coming out, a sister product, a Bluetooth smart MySlope speaker.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. You'll see it when you go into the app. It's called the Ace. But we'll do a whole video on that as well, but stay tuned for that.
I'm excited about that. But this is the type of stuff that excites me, and like I said, it excites me not only because of the fact that we're seeing new features that we haven't seen before, but we're seeing it at a price that I would consider reasonable. At 319 bucks, this is right in line with a lot of the other rangefinders. It's not the most expensive rangefinder on the market. Sometimes when you get the biggest, newest feature-packed product, it also comes with the biggest price tag. This doesn't, and I think that was a smart play by the Precision Pro team to design something that they could still keep at an affordable price. To me, it becomes a no-brainer, and I think this is gonna be one of the, come holiday time, this is gonna be one of the hottest things on the market.
No question about it, no question
without a doubt. These are kind of some of our initial thoughts, but want to hear some of your initial thoughts too. So post in the comments below, what do you think? What do you think of these new features? Is there something that you really like about it? Is there something else you would have liked to see added?
Absolutely. And
I'd love to hear about it.
Do you think the price point is right for all these features? We want to know. Let us know.
Let us know, and let us know your questions, because as we're using it, we'll know more about it, and we'll be able to answer you guys in the comments.
And who knows, maybe we'll give one away.
Hint, hint.
We'll see.
Subscribe to find out. We'll see you guys real soon.